Oh, sweet mother of...
Bacon!
So what did you think of that episode?
Okay, Static. Wow.
I think she liked it.
So Miller went over to talk to the Mormons to get a feel for the size of, just to really truly get a feel for the size of that ship.
He planning on stealing that ship?
He's planning on using their ship to destroy Eros.
Oh my goodness.
So
That's a big ship.
So we learned a fair bit, I think, even though we still don't obviously know what exactly the protomolecule is doing. But does what Protogen was doing, even though I know you're not going to think it was good, obviously, but does it make more sense now? Like what their logic was?
Not enough for me to
understand why they thought it was okay to do what they did.
No, not enough. Exactly, the human beings to sacrifice so many people.
What's wrong with your eyes?
Well, you see how they had to all undergo a special procedure to make it so that they wouldn't think about how horrible what they were doing was.
I know, but
it's clearly
it's an irreversible
They'll be like that forever.
You know, so
did you really get why Amos was so interested in whether it was reversible?
Because I believe it was done to Amos. That's what I mean.
But he's in a way he's similar in that he doesn't think
exactly.
He thinks in a similar way to them, and I think it was kind of like I think Amos has always wanted to not be the way he is, you know, and he was wondering if the doctor was going to say these guys can be fixed, maybe that means he can be fixed.
So what did they do to Amos?
Nothing. It's just his upbringing made him the way he is. That's really all it is. He has such a messed up upbringing that the way he views the world is fundamentally through this process of this is the way things are, this is the way things need to be done. So that's what's going to happen.
But on a positive note, Amos figured out how to talk to the scientist that was not killed, and it enabled the others to get a lot of information on Eros because something big is happening there. And then all of a sudden we heard these voices, wondering where these voices are coming from. And so I'm wondering whether or not I need to see Eros now, because I need to know what happened on Eros. Because we saw that it was doing something on help me.
Phoebe?
On Phoebe.
Well, it tried, but
we saw that it was doing something.
It didn't have enough biomass to really get properly going.
Right. It was unable to. But we saw that it was doing something.
Trying, though.
But what it was doing caused the lives of a lot of people.
On Phoebe.
So on Eros, how many people? They didn't say how many people.
Over 100,000 people on Phoebe. I mean on Eros.
Okay, so over 100,000 people.
Probably fewer than 50 or so on Phoebe.
So, I mean, oh gosh.
They went orders of magnitude greater.
I mean, even though this is an interesting show, it shows me, unfortunately, having worked in a lab and things like that, the lengths that people will go to try to understand something at the cost, at any cost. And this is sad. Yes, we've had a lot of, even looking at this, we've had a lot of good things happen with science. A lot of things probably needed to be done in order for us to get some cures and things like that for certain diseases and everything. And it just reminds me of working in one particular lab at the VA.
You're going to be furious, and you're going to be sad.
And we had this one dog, beautiful golden retriever, one dog. And I watched them do
you might want to
surgery
get your pinkies ready,
after surgery on this one dog. When I got there, this dog had undergone 12 surgeries, infected with all sorts of diseases. And yet he was still standing. Now, sometime I would like to know whether he's still standing. But
How long ago was that? No, there's no way that dog's still alive.
But
unless the experiments made him some sort of super dog by
I
accident.
mean, if you knew all the things that they injected into him and all of the things that they took out of him, and
yeah, it was there were a bunch of petitions recently that seemed to have worked to get the federal government to discontinue those experiments.
I'm sure that they won't.
No,
But
supposedly they actually responded positively and passed a resolution to stop them.
But like I said, I'm sure that they won't. Because if you can't do it one way, you'll find a way to do it.
Well, I think
they're still doing
it.
I'm
we're at
sure.
a point now where we can find a lot of alternatives. I'm hoping that they'll look at that.
But when I'm looking at the Expanse, now this is supposed to be set in the future.
For about 300 years.
And still the same issue.
Yeah.
Which is really I'm really having an issue with, even though I know it's a TV show. But I agree with Miller. Something is going on Eros, and we need to destroy it. But even with destroying it, Eros, just like they did with Phoebe, there's still that canister on hidden in that asteroid.
The Nazi sample is still out there.
With that same thing in there.
Believe me, that is a plot point later.
So
and I'm sure that dead body is somehow magically
it's still floating
towards
it. What did I say about the guy that survived? I said the same thing about the guy that survived. I said, you know what? He's not gonna die.
You thoroughly thought he was gonna die.
I did not. I said he's.
I had to tell you what was going on.
No, I said they sent him out there. I'm like, how much air he has.
Oh my goodness, well.
And he survived.
Rewriting history. You know this is on tape, right? I can literally point out the fact.
I was ready to say that same thing. I didn't say the guy was gonna die. I said, you know what? I say he just.
Man, you were redlining every freaking line you say. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do some magic on this. I don't even know if I'm capable of it.
Well, I still believe that we're getting ready to find out what's going on Eros.
Well, what do you think? Do you think the Mormons are just gonna let them take their ship?
I'm wondering how many.
Be like, hey, guys, I know you spent billions of dollars on this thing, and you want to go on some mission from God or whatever to another.
Well, he only saw the one guy. How many people on that ship?
Can we kind of borrow this for a minute?
How many people on that ship? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm sure they've already put people on this ship. It's like a little bunker that, you know, we're trying to put all throughout the United States with people in case something extreme happens. Certain ones can run underground or wherever.
Yeah.
But that's what his ship put me in mind of. One of those little. Now we sending bunkers down to space. So
that's the biggest bunker.
That's a big bunker. So
I mean, you remember Babylon 5? That thing is about half the size of that.
But he's trying to put a lot of
maybe a little more than
people.
Half the size. Yeah, they're going
that he consider like-minded on this big ship.
The Mormons. They're going to carry. I forget how many they said they were going to carry, but I know it's a lot. I think it's over 250,000 people. Apparently.
Well, I don't think Miller was a Mormon.
No, but I mean.
But he suggested that he could come.
Yeah, you can have salvation too. Because remember, the people who end up where they're going are going to be probably 4 or 5 generations down the line from the people who start the journey. So if Miller goes with them.
Well, Miller can't have any children.
Yeah, he can't have any kids anyway. So it's not like it's really gonna damage them to take him. Plus, he probably figures like even if this guy only kind of plays lip service to us, if he does have kids, because he doesn't know Miller can't have children. But he's probably thinking to himself, if he does have children, we'll raise the Mormon anyway, whether he likes it or not.
Well,
so what's he gonna do?
Well, so is Miller ready to sacrifice himself?
Oh, don't say anything. No spoilers.
That's my question now.
I guess we have to ask ourselves, you know, considering that the loss of Julie and the loss
I
of
don't
his
think
family
so.
on the Rocinante because they kicked him off and everything?
I'm not
Does he
sure.
feel like he has anything left to live for? Who knows?
I am not sure. I think now he is at a point where he wants justice for the people who have died. So,
And I think he appreciates the threat that they're facing with the protomolecule. You know, it's like you got an entire asteroid full of over 100,000 people, and you know the protomolecule apparently is a level of technology so advanced that it's doing something now on Eros. You know what I mean?
so what
It's
did
building something.
what
on
did
Eros.
it do before it came there? That's
mean?
what I want to know.
Before it got to our solar system?
Before whoever sent it to us, what did it
That's
do
what,
wherever it was?
what is its purpose? That's the whole thing. Why was it sent?
And I think we're getting ready to find out
We're
because we
definitely getting
just
a little,
finished the
little deeper into
episode
that.
on static. Miller and a lot of them have made decisions, and it all points to Arrows. So,
All
and
paths lead to Eros
Alex,
at this point.
and Alex is gonna figure this mess out with those stealth ships.
I gotta figure out.
I know he is. All thumbs up to Alex.
Well, Alex is just trying to understand the mistakes he feels like he made that led to the destruction of that one breaching pod. He's trying to he just wants to be better next time.
Practice makes
And
perfect.
that's what he's trying to do.
I agree, Alex.
But anyway, so oh yeah, and Avasarala now has received information from Fred Johnson about the stealth ships.
Well, we didn't get to see what the information was at the end.
Not the full details.
So,
which is why, of course, in her awesomely colorful way, she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I am not sure what kind of information she is getting ready to get, but she playing two sides.
Well, it's politics. There's what she's trying to actually achieve, and then there's what she has to be publicly and to other people in order to keep herself where she needs to be to do what she needs to do. It's like when she
No, but I'm
told,
trying to think of the movie.
Souther. Remember Souther? How he had his little tantrum and ended up basically getting fired. You know,
I just thought of the movie.
She's like, when he's like, "Oh, are you trying to it honors me that you try to justify yourself to me." She's like, "I'm not justifying myself to you. I'm trying to help you understand how your little tantrum got you sidelined." Because think about it. If he wanted to try to make sure things didn't escalate, the best place for him to do that was in the position he held. He was the fleet commander.
He did not want to be blamed.
No, he didn't want to.
He did not want to send. He did not want to send his.
He didn't want to be part of what was happening.
To what could be imminent death.
And escalate. No, he didn't want to be part of the escalation. Remember, they weren't at war or anything.
No, but they're getting ready to.
But they're escalating. He
course.
wanted not to escalate. He wanted things to be more level-headed. But he was in the best position to make sure that things went to a level-headed place. Because if you hear me out, if you have a fleet commander serving a president, or in this case, Secretary General, which is basically the president of the UN in this continuity, and say the president comes in and is like, "I want war." The fleet commander is still the person who actually has to carry out those instructions, and he has a lot of latitude in exactly how to carry it out. Maybe he tells his people, "Okay, we're going to redeploy the fleet," but they don't necessarily. He can basically sort of say, "But I'd like you to redeploy it in this way." So he's still following the orders, but he has ways he can slow things down. By giving up his position like that, by letting his emotions take control, and giving up his position like that, who replaces him?
Crazy
Is
guy.
it going to be somebody who is going to think like him, or is it going to be somebody who's going to think more like, "Yeah, we do need a war"?
Well, even though he stepped down at this moment, we don't know whether or not, because they can't replace him.
Well, no, he's been reassigned.
That he'll wind up back.
The point is,
directing the fleet.
The point is that he's no longer, pardon me, folks, but he's no longer in a position where he could have been more effective, and that's what Avasarala was trying to get him to understand. And she's doing something similar.
But
she
let's
can
go
either
back
go
to
in
her
there and be obvious about what she's doing, and then get people who might be against her to see what she's up to, put her in a box, or she can pretend to be on their side while she goes behind back channels and finds out what's really happening, and then does something. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go back to her.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, unfortunately, she is not. What is his name? In the movie, I think it was Sum of All Fears.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I know a basic
Well,
summary of what. So what?
Jack Ryan. But Jack Ryan had a predecessor.
She's way better than Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan had a predecessor. And his predecessor was trying to sort of train Jack Ryan to take his position.
Okay.
But his predecessor was more shrewd than Jack Ryan. And he wanted him not to be a Boy Scout as far as the things that he would have to do in the position if something was to happen to him.
So he's a little more like Holden, Jack Ryan.
So
where he was like,
no.
He was like he wanted to do things the quote unquote right way all the time.
Exactly. But he realized, well, no, I'm not going to compare him to Holden because I don't like Holden, but I like Jack Ryan.
I think she's letting her personal feelings cloud her judgment.
Same basic thing
But
you're describing, though.
As
Whereas
far,
his predecessor would be more like Avasarala, so someone who'd been around a bit and understood what needed to be done in order to get what you wanted to do.
Exactly. But as far as her, for instance, I see her as Colonel Falwell in Shaka Zulu, where where he was trying to do the work that he was sent to do by King George of Britain, but yet he was trying to be under Shaka Zulu's paramountcy as one of his chieftains.
Well, because that was the only way he could do what he was assigned to do by King George.
So
because he wasn't sent with an army, it's not like he could take over.
No, but one of the things that, and I wonder about her, because one of the things that Shaka Zulu said to him near the end was that he was a man without a nation, no loyalty to either. He was a swallow, no nation.
I don't know. I think Shaka Zulu may have been
So
incorrect on that, though.
No, when
everything he did.
No, he lost everything.
Only because things went badly and they tried to wash their hands of him.
And I'm thinking about her.
You're thinking of, well, I will say this. She is taking risks that if they don't go the right way, she will end up losing everything.
She's taking some very serious
That's
risks.
why Kotiar was like, don't do this, because the minute you do.
Very serious risks, which will have repercussions.
They will definitely
I know they will.
They will definitely have repercussions.
And I am just waiting to see how they play out for her. Because everything that she is trying to save, I believe she's making it worse.
Yeah, could be.
So, and on with our agendas.
Not so loud, jeez.
I get excited when I'm watching something.
Well, you get excited every time you talk, apparently. But anyway, so thanks for tuning in with us right now, guys. We really appreciate it. That was The Expanse, Season 2, Episode 3, Static. And, we're going to keep pushing on here because it's starting to heat up. And
well, see the episode and let me know whether you agree.
Yeah, and hit that like button and subscribe and ring the stupid bell and all that good stuff, whatever. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.